Hello everyone, welcome to another episode, and I'm stoked to be sharing this episode with you because we're going to talk a little bit about why you're not converting the leads that you're generating from Meta ads or Facebook ads or TikTok ads or whatever you might be doing today, or Google ads, whatever. Like, why you're not converting all the leads that you think you're going to convert. And there's one big mistake that people make that we've seen after working with close to 600 businesses now. And to share some advice and perspectives, I've got Derek Foster in studio. Derek.
Awesome to be here, man.
Yeah, so lucky to have you here. Guys, Derek has been in the agency for the last, I'd say, just over a year. And from my point of view, I've gotten you involved in the V8 Capital side now to help me oversee some of the businesses that we involved with, etc. And working in the lead generation partner for the last year, there's a lot of lessons learned.
Yeah, a lot.
And with those lessons, I think let's share some of that with the public. So we was talking about the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to their lead generation process. So let's start with what is the big mistake that they make and how can that change their business in the next 24 hours if they think differently about generating leads from Meta or Google or wherever it may be.
I have seen over 15 plus businesses that I worked on personally is the biggest thing that all businesses can do is work on their lead nurturing. It's the actual trust and credibility they build in individuals in their brand.
Yeah, I love it. And at the same time, a lot of people think that trust and credibility is just based on reviews.
No.
Reviews and testimonials are only going to get you that far. And what's your take on that? And maybe also explain why that's the case.
Okay, so reviews, testimonials and stuff is awesome. It's amazing to have. However, a lot of people that I've seen, worked with and talked with, they think it's the end all and be all to convert a person to actually buy your thing. But that's definitely not the case. It's a great indicator to show you are credible and what you do is legit. However, people will always wonder, will it work for them? They see it's working for everybody else, but they're not sure if it works for them specifically.
And how would one then handle that key objection? Because that's almost like the key
Yes.
objection. It's like, okay, cool, you're great at what you do, but will it work for me? What would be the advice on how to actually handle that objection?
Yeah, okay, well, that is now where lead nurturing comes in. Lead nurturing is a bunch of systems or ways to make people actually believe in what you sell, right? So the first one is just calling the people. Actually give them a call. If they become a lead, call them. What do you want? How can we help you? What's your needs?
And out of interest, how many conversations have you had with clients that you were frustrated with who don't call their leads?
Too many. Too many. And it's a thing for high ticket businesses that like nobody's going to buy your 50K thing, right? If they don't believe this is going to work for them. And the best way to actually build that belief is having a conversation with the person.
Why do you think people don't phone them?
I don't know. I think they're lazy. No, I'm joking. I think as business owners, we guys get very busy and you don't have the time to call the people or you're scared. A lot of the people are scared to call them. They don't know what to talk about. That is one of the biggest things, being scared and not having the time.
And sometimes they're lazy too, but also sometimes they don't have the systems in place because
Yes.
if you are busy, then you're going to have to hire someone in order to phone those people.
Yes.
Like there are so many studies that prove that the moment you contact a lead within 2 hours after submission, you've got now a 60 to 70% higher probability of converting them into an actual deal or a client.
Yes.
And when you don't do that, you're actually losing out to any other competitors who are going to take that initiative.
Yes. Across industries, it's proven statistically, no matter what business you have, we literally have a saying, speed to lead. The quicker you get to a lead, the higher likelihood they have to convert.
Because it creates the first impression of these people on the ball. This is a legitimate business. They're professional. And at the same time, it builds trust and credibility so much quicker purely because of the fact that you're actually chatting to another human on the other side. Like, I don't want to go too deep into AI in this specific episode, and I think we've done some on AI as well. But a lot of people think I can have AI call people. And to an extent you can, but trust me, nothing beats speaking to a real human.
People have a BS meter built in. Like they can sniff out the way, there's a thing in sales called tonality, the way a person speaks, what they say, how they say it. And AI is not at the point yet where it can mimic a human voice perfectly.
Yeah, maybe one day, soon, probably soon.
Probably.
But again, knowing that the other person is real makes a difference. Whether the AI sounds real or not, you're still going to wonder, is this a real person?
Yeah.
And when you say, because AI almost legally has to say, like, I'm not a real human. Like, if you want to chat to a real human, let me know. And I think that in itself means that people want to chat to people at the end of the day. That's just what works.
Yeah.
Now, my question to you is, what do people say when they pick up the phone and phone someone? Like, just if I was a client and said, Derek, I'm too scared to phone these people. Give me a quick 3 tips on what I should say when I phone my lead after he submitted on the site.
Well, just be honest. I mean, just give them a call and say, hey, John, whatever the person's name is, I saw that you were just a lead like a minute ago for our solar services. Like, what do you want specifically? Ask what they want. Just introduce yourself, ask what they want, and then you take the conversation from there. I think don't overcomplicate it. Know what they want and then take it from there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people start with how amazing they are. So they go, hey, John, I just wanted you to know, like, we were the top solar company in South Africa. We've done this. We've installed. Like, they don't care.
Yeah, not at all.
What they do care about is whether this is going to be a fit for them. So the conversation needs to be tailored to them and their needs. So such a beautiful thing that you said. So picking up the phone, phoning your leads, nothing is going to beat that. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it's safe to say that that is the number one thing that you should be doing. And if you can't do it yourself, get someone to do it for you. Okay? I'm looking into the camera. I'm looking at you. Go and get someone that can phone your leads if you can't phone them. That is the quickest way for you to double your business. Outside of just generating leads, obviously. Now, nothing beats phone calls.
Yes.
That is the most important thing.
Yes.
And I'm quickly just going to touch on VA Media. We generate over 200 leads a month.
Yes.
There's a lot of AI and automation systems in place to deal with those leads, to see who's a good fit and who's not. But nothing beats getting on a phone with a customer and really asking them what they want.
I mean, that's exactly why we have representatives of V8 to have a phone call. Like, even us as a big brand, we have like more than 120, probably 123 reviews now, or 125. And we have individuals that call the people that we trust a lot.
Yeah. And people, like you said, like, they want to know, will this work for me? And then they go into a Zoom call and et cetera. And it's a week to a 2-3 week process sometimes before they say yes, if not longer. So people need to understand it takes time to build that level of credibility and trust. But the quicker you start to speak to them, the quicker you get the actual objective right. Cool. Phone calls. What else?
When I look at lead nurturing, I think it's a very personal thing. So the best way is to have actual conversation, which we said is phone. But then, what's the second best way? WhatsApp. Or just messaging the people if you don't use WhatsApp. That's the best way because, well, second best way. Then you can have an actual conversation with the person. That's the main point of lead nurturing, having an actual conversation, because they're going to bring up stuff, questions, whatever. And over WhatsApp, you can do that easily. It's also very simple to have a WhatsApp conversation. So that's definitely the second way to do it.
Yeah, and I think you can have AI and automation send them the first WhatsApp message. You can just, hey John, I saw that you inquired for X and Y. Let me know if you have any questions. Also, let me know if you got a time for a quick phone call today.
Yeah.
Because now the
as simple as
process,
that, yes.
the process becomes manual, but that prompt was automatic.
Yes.
So you don't have to sit there and literally message every single person that comes through. You can have AI do that for you, but then hopefully you're putting that people into a CRM, a customer relationship management system, and you're tracking where they are in the process. So the automation of WhatsApp or the AI can send them a message, prompt a potential question, and then you can take it further, or a representative in your team can take it further.
Or I just quickly want to add, like, a lot of the people that's going to watch this probably don't have a CRM or whatever. Our clients do because we make sure they make money.
We force them.
Exactly. But like, even if you don't have an AI agent, that's the name of it, or a CRM, like, when you generate leads, it's super important just to reach out to them. If it's just a WhatsApp, you don't have anything automated or whatever, just reach out to them and initiate a conversation.
Absolutely. And phone calls, WhatsApps. What else can people do that can help with the lead nurturing process?
Okay, so for the smart individuals, which is all of you watching, is you can see it goes in a list, right? From call is the most personal, WhatsApp is the second most personal, and then thirdly is email, because email is very professional, it's very formal, but it can still be super powerful if used right, because you can use that to send all the messages and all the information or specifically objections. So people have objections in their mind. They have these questions that they want to ask you, but not necessarily have the time, or they're busy or whatever. You can use emails to show, listen, we are a reputable brand. The services that we do is quality. And to show all the testimonials and reviews, because that is still a thing. Like, you need to keep it top of mind. Like, you might have it out there, but if you send it via email and show, listen, these people are happy with us, they can actually see, wow, like there's so many people happy with them. They might work even for me. But then there's a bunch of more steps which we're not going to go into this video.
Yeah, and I think the thing about email is it's really easy and quick and easy to set up, and you don't have to overthink it. You're going to phone someone, you're going to WhatsApp them, and now they've already got a relationship with you, and now they're going to start seeing some automated emails from your company as well. A couple of email examples would be like what we do is the moment you become a lead, we'll go, hey, we're a real company with real people.
Yeah.
And I'm not some person sitting in my mom's basement, trying to scam you. We have all these people. You can see them in the photo. You can watch videos of the agency. You can watch videos of other clients. And that immediately builds a level of trust and credibility. Like a second email 2 or 3 days later would be, hey, we categorize our emails based on what people inquired for. So it's an online store, lead generation, whatever. So we'll say, we saw that you inquired for growing your online store specifically. Here's a couple of tips that I think might help. So we're giving them some value. And then we go, if you want to speak to a representative, let us know. Then the third email would be, let's keep it to online store specifically, would be, we've taken this store from X to Y. Don't believe that it's going to be that easy for everybody. This is where I'm just brutally honest with clients and with prospects. And we go, this is what the store did wrong. This is what we fixed. And here's Sarah's story. The next email, again, a couple of tips, and then some objection handling. A couple of tips, objection handling. And I've seen that work really well, because what happens now is you're giving them value, and then you're giving them a case study. You're giving them value, and you're giving them a case study. And that over time builds trust and credibility. So we send about 5 or 6 or 7 emails like that. That is after phoning, WhatsApping, obviously, etc.
Yes.
And then the other thing is you can send these leads that didn't convert just a weekly email with value, like with episodes like this, with conversations like this, or whatever you have, whatever fits your medium at the end of the day.
Okay, just to summarize that, I think the main point that we're trying to get across is there's all these ways to send out messages and to get in communication with the customer. But the main point, the most important part is actually building a relationship with them so they can build trust with you, because that's the thing. You wouldn't have a conversation, or you wouldn't buy from somebody, you wouldn't date somebody that you don't trust. And that's the point of all these mediums, of giving them a call, sending them WhatsApp, sending them emails. It's not just to do it because it's a marketing thing. It's there to build actual trust.
I love it. And that goes for any business. I mean, we can maybe also touch on this, is that whether you're a hair salon, whether you're a beauty clinic, whether you someone that teaches extra math after school, whether you sell solar, which is a massive once-off cost, or do car wrapping, which is in the same category, or whether you build decks or build pools, you got services that are that people are happy to spend on a monthly basis, like facials, for example, for a beauty clinic, and you can bring people in through your Facebook ads. But you still can phone them. You've got a higher probability of bringing that customer into the actual clinic if you phone them. You've got a higher probability of bringing that customer into the clinic if you WhatsApp them. And then you've got a higher probability of that customer eventually coming to your clinic by sending them emails and staying top of mind.
Yes.
And so this goes for every single business, no matter how big or small or how expensive the product or service you're selling. This is something that you need to be doing, because there are a lot of companies, and I'm not looking at you. There's someone there, I know, who's sitting there going, oh, it won't work for my business because, it's only massages. Yeah. It's like, no, that's where you're wrong. It works literally for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually, just talking about a real client that I had, is in the beginning when we brought her on board, she never, like, it's for a beauty business, right? Like, the best way to convert, by the way, quick tip, the best way to convert for a beauty business, for a massage parlor, whatever you guys doing, I have seen personally that WhatsApps, just straight up ads to WhatsApps, convert better. Why? Because I've seen the individuals, the business owner or the rep can have a conversation with the client, and then they book them. Like, it's not just they go onto a site. Actually, the on-site thing had a lower conversion rate. Like less people came in for the same amount spent.
Because people want that conversations.
Yes.
This is just proof that people actually want to chat to real people. They want to know that your business is real. They want to know that you are real. They want to know that you're competent and that you have some previous people who've had a good experience. I think if you can tick those boxes,
Yes.
Keeping in mind speed to lead from a call and WhatsApp point of view, and then staying top of mind by, sending emails automatically once a week, whatever it may be. I think that is just the best way to go about nurturing your leads. And that's about it. So hopefully there was value in this episode for you. If there was, tell us what's the biggest thing that you've learned today. What are you doing, what you're not doing? Just comment below. If you've got any questions, comment below. And if there's any other tips or any other things that you're struggling with from a marketing point of view, whether you're an online store or a local business, let us know. We can make a video about it. And that's all from my side. Derek, thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Amazing. Cheers, guys. We'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.